Okay, folks, I'm going to show you how to make a logo that looks like this. And that way you can change your Google profile picture if you want, just with one of your logos. Okay. So we're looking at one. I just used, Doctor, the D and the Q for Quint. And I'm looking at one that makes them look intertwined. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go to Google Font and I want you to select the sans serif fonts, right? So if you go to filter, I want you to skip past all of these and I want you to select all of the sans serif fonts. And I want you to choose one that has really thick lines right here. Okay, it's going to make it look a lot better if you have very thick lines. So let's say that we're going to something like Oswald. Okay, and I want you to say get font and I want you to say download. All right, and then when you see it download here, I want you to double click here. I want you to open up this file and go to Oswald here, double click on it. And I want you to, I actually want you, I meant to say install. So let me go back and do that again. So once that opens up, I want you to hit install. Okay, and then you're going to have the Oswald font. All right. Then I want you to open up Adobe Illustrator and I want you to go to, okay, we're going to go File New right here. And we're actually going to go and put this in pixels. We want a 250 pixel by 250 pixel um, creation here. And we're going to call it Monogram. Okay, and say create, because that is the perfect size for a Google a profile picture. Okay, and then I want you to make a large rectangle and I want you to set it to the color that you would like. So whatever color that you would like, really kind of consider like maybe a dark and then a light on top of that. So, um, and then set your stroke to transparent. And once you have a background that you like, we're going to go into this layer, lock it down, and build a layer on top of that. Okay. Then you're going to go into your text tool right here, click, and then just write your initials here. Okay. And then you're going to go to your selection tool. My initials are here. You can't really see them, but whoops, I don't want another text box. I want to select this. I want to make them white so I can see them. I want to make them really big. And I want to search the name of the font that I just saved. Let's make it pretty big. Okay. Not as big as the entire screen because we're going to actually separate them and do different things then. So we're going to go here and then we are going to go to, once they're both selected, I'm going to right click here and I'm going to say create outlines right here. And then I'm going to right click and say ungroup. Okay, now these two things are ungrouped. All right. Now I want to make them pretty big. So I would like to first take my direct selection tool and I want to select only half of the D. So right now you can see these are the bottom half is not selected because they're white and the top half is selected because they're red. And then I'm going to just pull. I'm not going to click and then click and drag because that will just pull one of the points. I want to just pull all of the points. Okay, and I can kind of click and drag across the bottom half and do that as well here. So I'm going to make kind of a long D right there. All right. Um, and then with the Q, I want to make it again, I want to make it as long as as big as the D. So I'm going to do that. I think if you hold down shift, it makes it like straighter. All right. And I'm going to start pulling and okay. And then I'll use the selection tool and I want to rotate it. And I want it to end up kind of 90 degrees. If you hold down shift, I think it gets to 90 degrees. I want to get them to intersect. Okay. I kind of want them to be a little thicker like that. I want the intersections to be bigger. So I'm just going to arrange it like this. Okay. So arrange it however you want it to be. All right. Now, after that, I want to take both, click and drag across both of them, and then go to Object, Path, and Offset Path. And I like to set it at 50px, sorry, 5px. Okay. And that's just, and then if you deselect and you select it again, or click and drag across to select both of them, you'll see that it's created these little like paths that are inside the outer edges of your letters. Okay, now this is going to be a tricky part for me to explain, but I want you to kind of think about it. And yours is going to look different than mine, so I want you to just think about it like holistically. We're going to go to the Shape Builder tool, and I want to cut it off so that it looks like, let me go back here. I want it to like the D, at certain points, I want one letter to look like it's going over the other letter. Okay, so this is like what I'm going for. So in this situation, I want the top letter to be my D in this top part. So I'm going to keep my, well, sorry, the first thing I want to do is hold down Option. I want to get rid of like all of the outer edges here. And I'm going to do it inside here like that. I'm not going to touch any of the intersection points. Like these are all the edges in the intersection. I'm just going to go and do that. Okay. Now I'm going to consider my intersections. So in the top one, I want my D to go forward, and my D is vertical. Okay, so I'm going to keep the vertical lines, and I'm going to get rid of all of the horizontal lines in this intersection. So I'm holding down Option, and I'm just deleting the horizontal lines. Oh, and I did something wrong, so I did Command Z, hold down Option, and I'm deleting the horizontal line here. Okay, I'm also going to delete these ones, right? Now in the next intersection, I'm going to, and I'm actually going to delete these two to make the thickness up here consistent with this one. Now in the next intersection, I want to do the opposite. I want to delete, so I deleted the horizontal lines here, and the next one, I want to delete the vertical lines, right? Hold down Option, I'm going to snatch all these vertical lines and get rid of them, or the vertical shapes here, like that, okay? And I'm going to zoom in and grab this one. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to go back and delete this to make the Q consistent. Now, this was vertical. I'm going to go here, just traveling along the intersections. I'm going to make them delete the horizontals here. Okay. And then delete those to keep the D consistent. And then these were horizontal, so these will be the verticals that I'm deleting here. Okay. And then if I go back to this and I look and I deselect, I can see that just by using that method, I've made it so that they look intertwined. All right. And so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything like this, and I'm going to use the Pathfinder like Unite tool. And that is it. I've created my monogram. Very last thing, you want to go to File and Export, Export As, and you want to export as a PNG file. Okay, and you might want to name it like with your monograms. And these are all fine, so you're going to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to open up and allow you to change your Google profile picture to your monogram. That's it.